That's super. Okay, so let's talk about upcoming agenda. What is the biggest issue right now for you in terms of growing lobby and making sure that it remains the force that it has been over the last few decades?
Well, one of the benefits of being with an organization with a great track record and a great reputation is this isn't a cleanup mission. You know, this is a very strong group that just happened to have their leader retire, and so you know I'm very lucky in that sense. But having said that, we can always look for ways to be more effective and responsive. And so, you know, a couple things. One, this technology induced interview we're doing today, you know, I think we're going to try to do more things like that. I'll give you an example. We've enhanced the technology here at Lobby. Our issue council process that we've traditionally used every year to refine our agenda and give our members input on that, we're using technology right now to enhance that out of Baton Rouge. You know, in the past, what I'd heard is sometimes, you know, folks have to come to Baton Rouge to participate in our meetings. Well, this year, since I've been here, we're putting those in a secure internet portal, and so our members can log in from their desk or from their store counter in North Louisiana. They don't have to come down here, or they can stay in Acadiana working on their business. They don't have to come to Baton Rouge and participate and vote. I think that's going to help. You know, the second thing I'm doing is I've been going around the state some, and I'm going to continue to do that, to go to different regions and kind of listen more than talk and try to hear what are the challenges they're facing. I'll tell you, I was in Acadiana last week, and the number one issue I heard there was workforce. I mean, everyone was talking about workforce, how hard it is to find qualified workers, how hard it is to keep them. You know, what are some of the skills they're looking for in workers, and how our school system and our training systems can better prepare kids for that. And so that's something I think we're going to have to focus on, because that was as loud as a banging drum to me there. But again, I'm about to go to Central Louisiana next week and other areas around the state, and I'm going to hear what their concerns are, and then we'll craft our agenda around what the business owners are telling us.
You know, it's a totally different, climate in terms of business economic development over the last, say, 6 years, 7 years after Katrina. So many projects, so much going on in the last during that time period. So, how does the business community, how does an organization like yours be able to deal with that? New faces coming in, a totally different landscape. So how do you deal with that?
Well, I mean, it's a great opportunity. It's a great challenge. I mean, right now we know there've been over about $60 billion in new projects announced. You know, we hope they all come to fruition. But we also know what comes with that is we're going to need 250,000 trained workers to meet some of that demand. And we know 69,000 of them, according to LSU, are going to have to be STEM qualified. So they're going to be trained in math and science and critical thinking. So it's a challenge on our behalf to say, all right, if we know that's coming, if we know that bubble's coming through the pipeline, how do we prepare our system and our employers and our educators to meet that pipeline? And so we've got to go out and push the agendas to try to make sure that a couple of years from now we don't find ourselves with a lot of construction going on, but not being able to meet the workforce needs, not having a legal or tax or regulatory climate that makes them want to expand their operations here. And so you always try to stay ahead of where you think, you know, we're going. You know, Wayne Gretzky had a great quote, you know, I don't skate to where the puck is, I skate to where the puck's going. And I think we have to do that at Lobby. And so that's going to be a big piece of what we do.
I imagine technology is going to play an incredible role. You talked about it in terms of your members being able to have a whole lot more input. But now you're talking about also a couple of 100,000 employees that we're going to need, and we're not ready yet. So how do you think that your organization might be able to help out in that regard in terms of workforce training and technology?
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, the reality is that the jobs most likely, if the jobs are there, the people are going to come to it. That's one good thing. And so I think it'll be a tremendous opportunity for us to go out and market us as a state and all that and bring in new workers. But we know we can't rely just on that. We've got to improve the pipeline here in the state of our kids to meet that demand with our own sons and daughters. And so I think that's why when you look at some of these issues like in education right now, some of the reforms that Lobby has pushed aggressively and the administration and other reform groups have pushed, you know, aggressively, that's why these education reforms matter. That's why you try to improve the schools. That's why you try to improve choices in career training in our K-12 schools, because we know it's not just for the sake of it. It's so that we can get a better workforce ready for those training programs. You know, some of this debate you see on Common Core right now, you know, I think there's a lot of debate on the curriculum or the standards or the this or the that. The reality is, here's the deal. Here's the breakdown in my mind. with Common Core as standards, and it drives a higher level and expectation of math and critical thinking. And the reality is, in the world economy we're facing, that's the challenge we face as a state. Mm-hmm. Are we going to prepare those kids in those two areas to go out and compete for the jobs so that companies 10, 15 years from now, when they're in their boardrooms figuring out where to invest their money, they come to Louisiana? We can't expect that just because we have resources in the ground, people are going to keep wanting to invest here. We got to do more than that. Our policies matter. Our education system matters. Our legal system matters. And so we got to get out ahead of that.